Hey everyone, it's Ron over at baseballsimresearch.com. Just wanted to go over a new version of the board reader. Coming out soon. I know we've had a couple public betas, etc. But soon this version will go live. If you are unfamiliar with the board reader for NPNG Plus, up till now, you'll want to go back probably and take a look at the videos that I've already done on various features of it. There is one video, I think, probably with me with the auto sub feature. That's coming too eventually. As you can imagine, real life gets in the way of all of our fun gaming sometimes. So just wanted to introduce you to 4.5. We've got the biggest improvement in 4.5. There are a number, but the biggest improvement is going to be a box score and stats accumulation. So there's been a number of smaller fixes, little things that have been fixed in it, some play results that weren't resolving correctly, etc. Let's take a look at the new feature though. We go to the box score page, and I've already been playing this game through. It's into the top of the 8th because I didn't want to bore everybody with the rest of the game. I've made no substitutions so far, and we're going to make some subs, and if the demo gods agree with me and work for me, we'll actually see how that all works. Let's see. Let's take a look here. You got your regular box score, right? It's 2-1. Rays over the Red Sox. My NPNG plus anti-Red Sox bias obviously in effect because my Red Sox are losing as they do too often, I think, and that's in any sim. Stratomatic, Yaz is always an underperformer for me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, getting back to the board. So you've got at-bats, runs, hits, RBI, walks, strikeouts. You technically can change these. You probably don't want to. As long as you change them to whatever the stat is you want displayed in that column, then everything will fill in fine. The stats that you can use are found on the Game Stats Visitor or Game Stats Home screen. It will keep track of pitchers information. Okay, we use outs to keep track of innings, plate appearances, at bats. So we're doing a lot of batting against pitcher stats as well as the regular earned runs, etc. The batting stats down here, and that's completely wrong. I'll have to fix that before we release that. It needs to be Tampa Bay. Anyway, it'll add up correctly. Batting stats are here, pitching stats there. Everything gets summarized into the box score. So let's take a look. Let's make a substitution here in the top of the 8th. Let's remove Hanley. We're going to bring in a pinch hitter. Let's bring in Dustin Pedroia. Now, in theory, we don't have to change the defensive position. When we click on roll, the code will actually change that to pinch hitter for us, and it should include him correctly in the box score, etc. Let's go ahead and click on roll. It did change him to pinch hitter. Naturally now, because the defense doesn't match correctly for the Red Sox, we get that error up there. That's okay. Ground out. If we click on end at bat now, we're going to go take a look at a couple things. Number one, here in the box score now, right, we see Dustin Pedroia is entered on row 18, and he's listed as a pinch hitter, etc. Back on the Game Stats Visitor, you'll see Dustin Pedroia here. These indexes and ranks you should leave as is. That's how I use everything to sort properly. So now we've got Pedroia in there. Let's go ahead and remove Archer here on the mound. I have no idea about pitchers for Tampa Bay, so let's go with the one pitcher I know, Nathan Eovaldi, from the Rays, besides Chris Archer. All right, so we're going to bring Eovaldi in to pitch to JD. JD rolls, he lines out, end at bat. Now we go to the box score. Nathan Eovaldi is now showing up here with a third of an inning pitched. Pedroia is still showing up correctly. If we look at Game Stats Home, we see Eovaldi now there. The outs over here and the runners you checked, you'll want to leave that alone. You basically don't want to touch anything in here. If you do, it should only be here in these stats in the shaded areas. You can change some stuff in there. Probably the version that we go public with will have some sort of identifying color that means that you can edit these cells. So let's continue on here. Let's finish up this half inning. Naturally, defense needs updating. We pinch hit for Hanley. So let's bring in a new first baseman. We'll bring in super sub Blake Swihart. We'll keep Sale in the game for now, even though he's trailing. All right, so top 9. Here, the box score is flowing fine. Everybody's got the information fine. We've still got Evaldi down here, Sale there. Let's see if we can get Rally going here in the top of the 9th for the Sox. Actually, since this is demo, I'd probably prefer that they don't rally, but we'll take a look. Base hit fills the bases. Naturally, Mookie now is going to hit a grand slam. There we go. As a 1980s star once said, I love it when a plan comes together. The only problem is we're lining up Nathan Evaldi. So anyway, okay, we're going to bring Chris Sale out. We're going to bring in Craig Kimbrell to walk the bases loaded and then strike out the side. Let's bring in Kimbrell. Right, we're not going to pinch it for Span because Span crushes us all the time. Yeah, we got him. All right, game is over. Everything's cool. All right, so now to add the stats, we will be providing a stats accumulation worksheet where you can add the stats to your replay stats. A couple gotchas that I hope to code soon. The app doesn't check to see if you've already imported the stats into your replay spreadsheet, so you'll probably want to keep track of that. I will try to get some code in soon, if not at release time, to check on that. It won't really matter as much if we release a new board reader. Let's say we're going to update the 2018 board reader first, and then we update it down the road. You'll still be able to use the new board reader, and your stats will stay intact because they're in a completely different spreadsheet. Okay, we made it so that the board could be updated independent of the stats spreadsheet. So now at the end of the game here, we've got Swihart at first base. We've got Evaldi getting the loss. So the loss here is very important. So everything filled out properly here in the box score, etc. But before we compile the stats, there's a couple things that you need to do. Number one, you just want to double check your earned runs versus your runs. The app should prompt you when it doesn't know whether a run should be earned or not. In instances where we know the run is unearned, for example, he reached on an error, or he was on base when there was an error. He was on base after there were 2 outs plus an error, or 1 out plus 2 errors, or nobody out plus 3 errors. So if you know that no more of those runs are going to be earned for the rest of the inning, we pretty much have a flag that will show us that it's unearned, and we'll keep track of them. But you'll always want to just double check based on, you can go back to the play-by-play, and when actually the app ends a half inning and it doesn't know whether or not the run should be earned, it'll actually take you back here to the play-by-play and allow you to look at it and determine if each run is earned or unearned. So we've made sure of that already. Now we need to assign a win, a loss, and optionally a save. So first of all, Red Sox went ahead when Sale was still the pitcher of record, so we're going to put a W there. It can be a W or a lowercase w, doesn't really matter. Evaldi took the loss because he was pitching in the 9th, and then Kimbrell did come in and get a save. 99% sure you can put S or SV there, and I think any type of capitalization and it'll do it. So we click on compile stats. Have you verified the runs and the earned runs? Yes, I have. It will also actually check whether or not, let's see, whether or not you've assigned a win and assigned it to the correct team that won. It will make sure you've assigned a loss and assigned it to the losing team, and the save has to be assigned to the last pitcher, etc. It doesn't check if it was a save opportunity or not. So if you're unsure if it should be a save or not, you probably have scored a lot of baseball games and understand the criteria under which people get a save. But anyway, you have to determine that yourself. You're basically the official scorer. Okay, the app isn't going to keep track of who should be the winning pitcher, who should have the save, who should be the losing pitcher, etc. Maybe someday, but ain't going to happen now. So then we click on our stat, our stat spreadsheet, whatever that is. Obviously, whatever spreadsheet we provide that has a blank tab, you're going to want to make a copy of that, name it something useful, like maybe this is I renamed this file to 2018 NPNG replay stats. Anyway, click on it and click open or double click on it, doesn't matter. It'll do its stuff, and when it comes back and the cursor is no longer a circle, it means you're done. I may probably add something on there before we go live that shows that the import succeeded. So let's go and open up that replay stat spreadsheet. All right, so at this point, it has gone ahead and created tabs for Boston and Tampa Bay. The blank, don't mess with this. This is the blank spreadsheet, the blank tab that we use to create all the other tabs. The team will come in, J_Boston, it'll be Junior Circuit, which is the American League, of course, Boston, etc. So a couple things. Number one, it doesn't keep standings, okay? It doesn't keep league leaders yet, and it doesn't keep a lot of stuff except for the stats that we're accumulating, okay? We'll probably release a league leaders, standings, etc. Spreadsheet, which will read your stats, but right now it's just the stats. You'll also notice, if you've been paying keen attention, that I've actually hidden some rows here between row 2 and 11. All right, if I unhide them, you'll see that they're blank. You can add your own stuff in here. You know, Home Park, Fenway Park, blah, 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 whatever you want in here, and it'll display when you print this. Feel free to use those rows for whatever you want. I don't think I have intentions on doing any of those, using any of those cells, so feel free to do it. So when it imports the stats, you'll see all of the players in alphabetical order, all of their stats, games, plate appearances, at-bats, blah, 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 blah. All right. Pitching, Kimbrel and Sale. Winning percentages are there. These are your normal pitching stats, including whip at the end, and then batting against. So basically equating most of what the Baseball Reference stats show. There's currently no fielding stats. I know some people like to keep them, but probably not a lot of people do. So I haven't undertaken that coding yet. Naturally, if you've started a replay and we add fielding stats, then your fielding stats are going to be incomplete for the replay. We get that, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, as they say. And then, of course, Tampa Bay. I didn't do any substitution except for pitchers there. Evaldi, 21.60 ERA, obviously a precursor to the 2019 Nathan Evaldi and just about everyone else of the Red Sox pitching staff, but that's a video for another time. So that's what we've got. That's you can actually go up here and edit, you know, this is say Boston Red Sox or whatever you want to do, Tampa Bay Rays, etc. But that is, I believe, everything that we're doing here in version 4.5. The next version, there we go. The next version will probably be including the auto sub. Well, that didn't work now, did it? There we go. Probably will be the auto sum information, and that'll be a video for another time. So thanks for checking in with me. Have a good day.